As prominent Brazilian American Jiu Jitsu Grandmaster Rorian Gracie rightly said, self defense is not just a set of techniques, it's a state of mind, and it begins with the belief that you are worth defending. In a world full of uncertainties, nothing feels better than knowing that you can take care of yourself and protect yourself under all circumstances. Knowing how to defend yourself with certain psychological, physical, and self defense tools is a major confidence booster and a reassurance we all need. In a country like India, where gender based violence is on rise and women are at stake, projected as mere objects of fantasy or the weaker sex, self defense has become a necessity more than ever. Due to increasing vulnerabilities, women and children should be aware of the strategies to be adopted under adverse circumstances. Self-defense techniques not only allow us to defend ourselves against physical attacks, but also helps in inculcating other important principles and values like courage, discipline, perseverance, integrity, and dedication. With that being said, let us understand more about self-defense and its diverse benefits in our daily lives. Hello everyone, you're listening to the Socially Desi show, the podcast that motivates you to live, create, and inspire. If this is your first time here, welcome. On our show, we discuss tips and strategies with our guest speakers on how to tackle problems related to personal growth, mental health, relationships, entrepreneurship, and health and fitness. So hit that subscribe button and go check out our website at sociallydesi.com for more of such content. Today, I'm joined by Himali Wahalkar. She is a Kudo Gold Medalist, Diploma Holder in Women's Self-Defense, an MMA fighter, Unarmed Combat Instructor, and has represented our nation in International Karate Championship back in 2016-17. And all that, and she is just 20 years old. Hello Himali, welcome to the show.
Hi Anurag, thanks for having me.
It's a great pleasure to be hosting you on the show, Himali. So to our audience who don't know much about you, why don't you tell us and introduce ourselves?
Hi guys, my name is Himali Wahalkar and I'm into martial arts from past 10 years of my life. I'm also imparting self-defense and martial arts training to young kids, elite athletes and women all over Pune.
Wow, that's great. I mean, so you started your journey back when you were 10, right?
Yes, I've started my black belt journey 10 years before.
Wow, that's amazing. And who was the one who instigated this in your family?
My mother wanted me to learn self-defense principles and, self-defense techniques so that I become confident and, defend myself whenever the need arises.
Wow, that's great. A big round of applause for your mother who actually, motivated you and instigated that in your family for you to join martial arts and learn it, not just as an art, but something that now, since you have become an instructor, you can actually impart this knowledge to everyone out there.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us more about, your journey, before you joined martial arts?
Okay, so I was like 10 years old when I joined martial arts. So it was never a dream to become a fighter, not to earn a black belt.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always an extrovert personality and hence I was never an idle host. So martial arts has completely flipped my life from an innocent introvert to a lively extrovert. So at that time I was in 6th grade and in that year there was Ganpati festival celebration in our locality.
Mm-hmm.
So every evening there used to be some or the other celebration. So one day martial arts group was invited that night to showcase their skills.
Okay.
Though, throughout my 10 years, I was never interested in fights and blood, martial arts, bruises. I was never interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I went there to see their show. So
Okay.
I was very happy with different kinds of stunts and performances they, put up. But the game changer for me was the stunts put up by the head of the team, who is now my instructor, Mr. Arvind More sir.
Okay.
So his performance was breathtaking. He performed different stunts in which he had passed bullet bike on his stomach, on
Mm-hmm.
his fingers, smashed n number of tube lights on his body, and different fire breaking stunts. After witnessing all of this, there was something which struck my mind, and at that moment of time, I felt like, well, what will happen if I join this?
Mm-hmm.
And I had a talk with my friends and my family. So I was like, okay, let's give it a try. And always my mother wanted me to put into martial arts and self-defense. So she enrolled me. And then, though being enrolled in martial arts academy, I was always sure that, okay, come on, martial arts is not my cup of tea. I will only go for exercises and I love flexibility and gymnastics. So I'll continue with that. And later on, I realized, no, this is something which is, this is something which has to happen in my life.
Yeah.
So, and then after 6 years of rigorous training, I earned a black belt.
Wow, that's amazing. I never, went past the white belt. Back in
Mhm.
class five, I remember when I was studying in Rajasthan. So we
Mhm.
had this option when we were kids. We were given this option to either choose, karate as a training, or there were some gymnastics training that were going on. So, like a typical kid, I was like, okay, karate looks cool, and well, we didn't know much more about the other forms of martial arts. So it was more like, okay, karate is cool, man, we'll join that. And we joined karate. We did it for a few months, but then I never gave the exam, never like went past the white belt. But it was cool. I mean, the experience, I guess, by learning these kind of activities, just being a part of this, I believe changes a lot in your mindset. And like you said, from
Yes,
being an introvert to becoming an extrovert and now becoming a coach, I guess the journey would have been phenomenal.
yes, it has been. It has. There are, a lot of ups and downs because I was, never a socially active person or, to interact with people. So through fights and that different trainings, I have, learned a lot and I've changed myself a lot through this.
Definitely, we can see that. And you also hold a world record India, right? So why don't you tell us
Yes.
more about that experience?
So, being a world record India holder is one of the finest achievements in my life. So, the record was all about 30 minutes of non-stop punches, and it was a team
Wow.
record.
Mm-hmm.
So, from all over India, 381 participants had participated.
Okay.
So, each one of them had to punch for continuous 30 minutes, and the count of each student or the each participant who participated in this record was 1310, and the total count, the team count of the record was 4,99,110.
Wow. Okay.
So this was the total count of straight punches which we have achieved after 30 minutes of continuous punching.
These punches, are these air punches or you're punching some object or something?
No, no, no. These were air punches.
Okay. Wow.
So you have to stand in a stance and you have to keep continuously straight punching for next 30 minutes.
Wow. Amazing.
So, yes, like I would like to share one, a small incident and a
Mm-hmm.
small, I would say, a proud moment for me that from all over India there were 381 participants participated from, but from my academy there were 65 participants,
Okay.
including our instructor. So usually the academy instructors, trainers, and seniors hold the records. Guinness, whether it is a Guinness record or India record. But in our academy, we make sure that our students also participate in the team records. And they achieve an identity as a record holder in early stage of their sports life.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, the kind of opportunity I believe the institutes they give to their students is immense, and it's really helpful for their career. Not just being into martial arts, but I guess in the society as well. When you get these kind of opportunities, it means a lot.
Yes, it means a lot because this is an identity for what you're doing.
True, true. And it shapes up your mind, and like you said, the identity matters, and especially when you are young and you want to accomplish a lot of things, and when you get these kind of opportunities, I guess that's a big thumbs up, to all the institutes, for all the instructors who are helping their children, who are helping their so what do you call them? So they are your senseis.
No, I am their sensei.
No,
So
like yeah, yeah.
they are my
I mean,
students.
your instructor would be your sensei, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. And what are the disciples called? What are they called?
They are called as students, just normal students.
Okay, cool. And you also, represented our nation in the International Karate Championship back in 2016-17.
Yes.
Please tell us about that experience.
So I have represented India two times
Mm-hmm.
internationally. Once in 2017 in International Karate Championship,
Okay.
which was held in Nepal. I had participated in two events. One was the katas and kumite. So kumite is basically fights, and katas is a four direction imaginary fight which you have to perform individually and also in group.
All right.
So I bagged bronze medal in both the events.
Wow, nice.
And yes, the second time which I represented was in 11th Akshay Kumar International Kudo Tournament, which happened in 2019.
Okay.
And this was one of the most, amazing experience for me because it was my first international Kudo tournament. And the second thing was that I was felicitated by Akshay Kumar sir,
Mm-hmm.
Shihan Akshay Kumar, for achieving gold.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
And yes.
So where was this competition?
This was in Gujarat itself.
Okay, all right.
So, as you said, there are different styles in martial arts. You always, formally wanted to join karate in
Yeah.
your school days, something. So, there is a difference. Like, in 2017, when I represented in karate, and 2019, I represented in kudo.
Okay.
So karate is a kind of sport which includes, attacks and returns, and it is a semi-contact game.
Okay.
But you are not supposed to actually injure the opponent in that fight. But on the opposite hand, kudo is an aggressive and impactful game.
Okay.
So which
Mm-hmm.
includes grabbing, throws, submission, chokes, and headbutts. So from shifting from one discipline to another, it was challenging and a stepping stone for me.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I didn't know this difference, so thanks for telling me. And I'm sure a lot of us, would be glad that you're here and we are talking more about your career. And moreover, you also hold a diploma in women's self-defense. And today's episode is all about, talking about women's self-defense and how children can adopt self-defense in their daily lives. So, what was the inspiration that got into you teaching them self-defense?
So I started teaching after becoming a black belt. So
Mm-hmm.
initially, for the first 2 years after becoming black belt, I started teaching in my own institute.
Okay.
From where I have become a black belt. So after teaching 2 years over there, I then started teaching in different branches.
Mm-hmm.
In different branches of our academy. So martial arts coach or a self-defense coach at initial stage, it is very important to understand that martial arts is a unique genre all of itself.
Right.
And self-defense comes from martial arts. So just, because your instructor is a great coach or has been a great coach or does not automatically cross over the MMA environment.
True.
So martial arts is a totally different atmosphere, a totally different world from other sports.
True.
So you have to understand, you should never ignore that you have been through that grind, the conditioning, the drilling, everything. So there is no way that you can guide someone else through the grind if you have never been through that.
So true.
So again, yes, to become a self-defense trainer, this is all it takes. That first you have to know the basic disciplines of martial arts. Then you can teach them self-defense because all the basics of self-defense comes from martial arts. And yes, as a coach, it was always been easy for me to put myself in their shoes and impart training as as I believe there is no major age difference and, to make them a fighter, disciplined, strong, and yes, humble at the same time.
Right.
But not ignoring to make them fall in love with the art and yes, totally